Overcoming fear quotes. Do not fear mistakes. You will know failure. Continue to reach out. Benjamin Franklin. Do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt. Extreme fear can neither fight nor fly. William Shakespeare. Fear is only as deep as the mind allows. Japanese proverb. Fears are nothing more than a state of mind. Napoleon Hill. He who is not everyday conquering some fear has not learned the secret of life. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Nelson Mandela. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Theodore Roosevelt. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Confucius. The enemy is fear. We think it is hate, but it is fear. Gandhi. There is no illusion greater than fear. Lao Tzu. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. W. Clement Stone. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Les Brown. We should all start to live before we get too old. Fear is stupid. So are regrets. Marilyn Monroe. When you are afraid, do the thing you are afraid of, and soon you will lose your fear of it. Norman Vincent Peale. You can conquer almost any fear if you will only make up your mind to do so. For remember, fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind. Dale Carnegie. Where fear is, happiness is not. Seneca. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Vincent van Gogh. Ultimately, we know deeply that the other side of every fear is freedom. Mary Ferguson. Try a thing you haven't done 3 times. Once, to get over the fear of doing it. Twice, to learn how to do it. And a 3rd time to figure out whether you like it or not. Virgil Thompson. To fear is one thing. To let fear grab you by the tail and swing you around is another. Catherine Patterson. There is no failure except in no longer trying. Elbert Hubbard. The greatest mistake you can make in life is to continually be afraid you will make one. Elbert Hubbard. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. Remember your dreams and fight for them. You must know what you want from life. There is just one thing that makes your dream become impossible. The fear of failure. Paulo Coelho. People living deeply have no fear of death. Anais Nin. Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. Francis Chan. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Henry Ford. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. Marie Curie. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Abraham Lincoln. Men are not afraid of things, but of how they view them. Epictetus. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Dale Carnegie. I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. Rosa Parks. Have no fear of perfection. You'll never reach it. Salvador Dali. Fear has its use, but cowardice has none. Gandhi. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. The fearful are caught as often as the bold. Helen Keller. Each of us must confront our own fears, must come face to face with them. How we handle our fears will determine where we go with the rest of our lives. To experience adventure or to be limited by the fear of it. Judy Blume. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death, but once. William Shakespeare. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Jack Canfield. Failure doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means you haven't succeeded yet. Robert H. Schuller. Fear has its use, but cowardice has none. Gandhi. Fear is the main source of superstition, and one of the main sources of cruelty. To conquer fear is the beginning of wisdom. Bertrand Russell.